Okay, so today I want to talk to you about the 13 days of passing. There are 13 days of passing, and I'm going to get to that. But as I was like thinking and considering this whole writing, I wanted to bring up a few points. Death is beautiful. It is so glorious, and you have finally like reached the end, right? When you have had a full life and experienced life, and you've come to this end and you finally get to go back to source, to God, the Great Spirit, and you finally get to be in that oneness. It's beautiful, no longer restricted by the human body, not having any of the human suffering and experiences, go into complete bliss. It's wonderful. And let's just be honest. The one thing that's true about life is we all are going to leave our body. We all are going to move on. It's part of life. There's no one that gets out of this. So there's some questions and considerations I want you to have. I want you to think about this. What is your fear of death and where does it come from? Right? Like so many people have this fear of death. And I'm wondering, like, for you, where does that come from? And then the next thing is what happens after death? What do you believe happens after you leave your body? And where's this information coming from? Is it true? Where did you learn it? Right. And I ask all this because, it happens. We all have people that move on in our lives, and we really have to like figure out like how to process that and how to deal with it. And I think these are the foundational questions about this. And I also bring it up because I've died before, right? I've had a near death experience. Uh, let's just be honest, it's not bad. There you can see all these experiences have a lot in common. So look up NDEs or near death experiences and listen to some of these stories. Because I remember it just being beautiful, warm. It was really loving, very informative and inviting. And it was just so calm, but so much was happening. It was just like mind blowing the things I was seeing, the information that was being given to me. That I had had these so many experiences of like seeing things and having meditations, and it was gorgeous being able to have all this truth and confirmation when I had my near death experience and being able to ask questions and get evidence and explanations about like I saw this, what exactly was that? And it brought me so much peace. And the reason I'm back is because I did ask, like they were like, well, you can go now if you want. And I was like, am I done? Did I do what I was supposed to do? Did I fulfill my purpose? And the answer was no, I'm back. But when you do pass, there is a 13 days that goes on where you button up everything on life, everything that was your earthbound attachment. There's a process that the whole um soul goes through, right? And it's several stages. So initially there's like a reflection stage where they would go through and they process their life experience, the emotions, unfulfilled desires, the physical earth human thing. And this is typically like an opportunity to come to terms with your existence and the time you had and the impact you had on others. And also during this time, it's not always easy, right? You encounter different states of consciousness and it's an experience. And usually in this time, as long as they're supported by loving energy, people are performing rituals, they're sending love, accepting that this person who has passed is moving on. It helps facilitate them through this transition so that they're going into higher states of awareness and consciousness and higher into oneness. So there's a lot of different belief systems that have different rituals that they'll do during this time. You do what's right for you. I'm not here to tell you what they are. I'll give you some ideas that you can kind of consider. But while they're going through this reflection and this realization, eventually they ascend into like a higher realm or higher loca of existence. And this depends on their consciousness and their spiritual evolution they had as a human and in that 13-day process. And then eventually, depending on your belief system, they have this amount of like state where there's an amount of peace and understanding and acceptance of themselves. And then at that point, they go through their transition. So when they're going through this, again, sometimes it can be very hard on the soul, and because there's a lot of human attachment, right? We're attached to so many things. We're attached to society, our loved ones. Heck, like I've come across people that are like concerned about the household chores, and I'm like, what? Like that's why you hung around. But it's important that we give them this space and we help them move on. And again, you would do this through like rituals and intentions, right? Some people will light candles or like lamps and different things in their memory, symbolizing the light of their soul and guiding their journey. Some will do offerings of like maybe their favorite food, right? And some water to help nourish the soul so that they can move on and have the energy and stamina to go through this transformation. Some people will have prayers and mantras and chanting. Um, some will create altars in memory of them, right? And you can put photographs there and maybe their favorite flowers and reminders of them. Just focal points to help you while you're praying and giving offerings. And then there's other types of rituals where you might call in your ancestors to help guide that soul on. Gatherings of loved ones, right? The memorial services or the funerals or wherever your belief system is. Those rituals and practices are all there to, yes, help you button up and move on. But in the end, it's helping them, right? So you want to make sure you're setting your intention and you're visualizing this and you're really manifesting abundance for them. And they're just all this love, giving forgiveness for anything that, that maybe with some contention between you. And, light the candles and let it go. And you can do this for the 13 days. There's all kinds of opportunities here that I suggest that you explore while the soul goes through this transition. It's different for everyone. It's different for different beliefs. It's actually even different for animals. It's quite a different experience. And I just encourage you to go through it and process it yourself, do what's right for you, and really honoring the release of their body, right? And giving them this chance to go into these higher realms and lokas and have this consciousness experience, and fully being able to embrace it. And I'd like to point out too that this isn't just like spiritual stuff, right? Their scientists have still been trying to validate heaven, the universe, the lokas and realms. But we can tell from traditions of all beliefs that these things exist. They all have them in our ancient writings. And we've just been, I mean, that was the whole concept of the CERN, right? Is they were trying to create more and go beyond string theory and prove that this vibrational energy exists and being able to tap into source, into oneness. And so when you're looking at this, don't look at it as just like a religion or a belief system. I really want you to question it. I want you to understand it, right? And that's why I was asking those foundational questions in the beginning. It's not something to be worried about. It's something to celebrate. I was so honored that my friend Susie let me be a part of her journey. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Um, it was an honor to be able to be involved in that, being able to say, yes, things are buttoned up. You did what you were supposed to do. There's nothing left. right? And there are legit golden gates or golden light, right? However you want to reframe that. But that's what happens. And I'm saying this from my own personal experience. Like it happens and it's beautiful. And it's like as soon as you see the light, it's just this very amazing calmness comes over and the feelings of our nervous system dissipate, meaning you don't feel hot and cold. There's just this perfect temperature. You don't feel hunger, pain, nothing like that. Um it's just this, it's everything and nothing all at once. And like it's this experience of blank consciousness. And at the same time, this awareness of all the connection and oneness and the unification of everything all happening at the same time. And somehow you can comprehend that. There's no anxiety, there's no thinking. It's a very spiritual, like soul experience. And there's others waiting on the other side. And they come alongside you and they help guide you once you step through. So there's no confusion, right? The only time people get confused in this journey of these 13 days is when there's attachment still here on earth, right? And that's why it's important for us to grieve and let go and release them into their journey with the most abundant of spaciousness. And we will reunite with them again. Our souls are all one. And so no matter how that reunition, I'm making up words now, but I'm going with it. But no matter how that works, and however your beliefs are, know that that happens because the soul itself never dies. The body does, not the soul. And that's like in some of my meditations, you will hear me say, like, I am not my body. I am not my mind. I am my soul because that is true. And the more you are true and authentic to your soul, the more you are oneness, the more you are experiencing consciousness, right? And then giving you that ability to ascend even higher, because that's where we want to be. So when we're looking at this whole situation, have these realizations, confront these things, consider them, consider where you're at in the relationship with the being that has left you, right? Temporarily. So don't worry. And I bet your next encounter will be even more spacious than this one. And know that this is all a pleasurable experience. All the pleasures we have here on earth come with constraints. All the pleasures we have outside of earth don't have these constraints that we have challenged with here. And you can't even begin to imagine how beautiful it is. There's no explanation. You can try to find words for it. I do all the time, but it's the easiest way to explain it is it's just peace and bliss. There's so much calm. It's lovely. So I hope this helps you, and I will get ready for our next video together.